So a handful of weeks ago, I had a friend who asked me if I would be willing to go and pray with a little boy who was battling cancer. And initially, the treatments had been going really well. And then, all of a sudden, they weren't. And when my friend asked me this, I was very reluctant. As I thought, who am I? I'm unworthy, unqualified. And this part I'm not proud of, but it's part of the reason I wanted to say no. It happened to be on a weekend where I had many things taking place, commitment after commitment. And I had like a 2-hour window on a Sunday afternoon that was free. And of course, that's when this could take place. But I said yes, reluctantly. Now, my expectation was when I went to meet this young boy, it would be probably the boy and maybe his mom or his dad. But that was not my experience. We met at a church, and there were his 2 little sisters, his mom, his dad, both sets of grandparents, his aunts, his uncles, some of his cousins, and some friends. And this was such a beautiful experience because it showed me in a really particular way having faith in the midst of struggles. Now remember, I was going to say no. And I would have missed out on a great gift. In our gospel that we just heard, we hear about Joseph, a righteous man. But we have to remember that Joseph is like you and me. He's fully human. He has his hopes, his dreams, his vision for what his future's going to look like. And I don't know about you, but I imagine his world was turned on its head after the angel came to him. Everything was different. And his yes did cost. It cost him his plan, his desires. It also cost him the recognition of what the future was going to bring. It brought great uncertainty. And yet, he trusts God more than he trusts his own understanding. That's radical trust. He teaches us that it's not about perfect clarity, knowing exactly what's going to happen, but having the courage to trust God and to do the next right thing. And maybe the most important thing is he shows us that gifts from God are often wrapped in responsibility. Gifts from God are often wrapped in responsibility. Joseph, like us, when we say yes, when he said yes, we're not spared from difficulties and challenges and sufferings. But when we say yes, we bring meaning into that very challenge. And we allow God to be present. We take God at his word where he says, God is with us. As we approach Christmas, I know there's many who are carrying burdens that they didn't choose. They have responsibilities that seem too much. Maybe you're on a very difficult path. And probably all of us can say one of those things to some extent or another. If that's the case, then let's pray for the grace to follow the example of Joseph, whose whole life reminds us that through burdens, responsibilities, difficulties, hardship, when these are accepted in faith with radical trust, when we surrender to God, it is right there in the midst of those challenges that we all face where Jesus can be born, where God can dwell. And also for the grace to recognize that even our reluctant, our little yeses are the things that lead to great gifts, great blessings from God. So this Christmas season, may you be abundantly blessed.